Hey guys, welcome to Weekly Travel Updates. Well, do you know what today is? Today is Eiffel Tower Day. So I thought that I would bring you some really cool information about the Eiffel Tower. But first, this afternoon, 6 o'clock news showed where they are still finding survivors in Thailand. Near Bangkok, that 7.7 earthquake really did some damage. They're nearing 3,000 people who lost their lives. It is just devastating. And it was like a wave that went through. More than one city had buildings, skyscrapers just collapsed to the ground. In Bangkok alone, there were more than 1,500 deaths in one monastery. Man, that is just hard. I wanted to tell you some things to do on day one, since we're finding 60% of cruisers are now new cruisers. And wow, if you don't know the things to do on the very first day that you get there, you might regret it later. When you walk away from tonight, you'll know 98% more than most cruisers know when they get on board a ship. There are lots that has gone on this weekend. There was an overboard. There was sickness breakout on 2 major cruise lines last week. And it's just a time that we need to be ultra aware of your surroundings and keeping your hands clean if you're going on cruises, keeping your hands clean if you're going on airplanes. We don't get on a plane that we don't take wipes and at least wipe down the things that we're going to touch. So make that part of your travel plan this year. I was really blown away that 60% of cruisers are new cruisers. So if you've not been on a cruise before, and it's the facts remain that more and more are being booked online without the help of a travel agent, you may not know some of these things that can really change the way that your week begins on a ship. When you're picking out that cruise cabin, look at that location. The worst thing that can happen is that you get a cabin that is right underneath the pool deck or underneath the lounge or underneath the buffet, where there's noise all kinds of hours, day and night. So that's the first thing to do, is look at where your location is. Then when you get on board, go to the front desk and ask the one simple question: is there any availability for a free upgrade or discounted cabins? And just stop. It doesn't hurt to ask. There have been times that there are upgrades available for a very small amount. People don't show up. They're going to give it to somebody. And so oftentimes it is that first person who asks. Okay, you didn't get the free upgraded room, so now we're going to go to your cabin. When you go in, let's first make sure everything works. Check your lights. Check the remote. We go in and we sanitize everything first. But you want to make sure that everything in your cabin is the way it needs to be, because day one, if there's a problem and you find out, then there might be some flexibility to move you around. Okay. Check on the thermostat. Be sure that you know how to make it warmer or cooler in your room. check the lights because some cabins require you put your key card down in a slot for the lights to come on. And when you leave the cabin, you pull the card out and the lights go off. It's just sad if you walk out and shut the door by accident. And that happens. I've done it before. Uh, Meet your cabin steward because this is going to be the person that is going to take care of you this week. The first request that I make is, can you please be sure that we have fresh ice all the time? Even if we get in late at night and there's an ice bucket there, there's just cool water, if nothing else. But we always like ice. We ask for ice as soon as we get on board. If you're a person who likes pillows, now's the time to ask. Ask for those extra pillows or extra towels. Or, hey, could you bring us some more hangers? Many ships even have a coffee kettle or tea kettle that they'll be happy to bring to you. They don't provide them in every room, but they do have them available. You just need to ask. And one tip is if you tip that steward on the very first day, $10, $20, he will be much more attentive to you all week long. Okay. I check the water. I check the water pressure, the lights. I flush the toilet to make sure it all works the way it's supposed to be. Again, if you have problems, now's the time to call your cabin steward and let them know so that it can get fixed on day one. Okay. Looks like everything in the cabin's going to be okay. So let's unpack. There's lots of storage in your cabin. Look behind the TV. Look in every cabinet. It is made for easy in, easy out. If you go with packing cubes, it's super easy because I just take it out of the bag and throw it in a drawer. Then as I need things, I will use it out of the packing cube. Okay. Don't forget when you unpack, there is storage under your bed. So that's where we put our luggage. Now, on the last ship that we were on Celebrity Eclipse, I had one large piece of luggage and it wouldn't fit under the bed. So I turned it sideways and I put it against the wall, and that became kind of our entry hall table. When you walked into the room, it was someplace to lay things down. It wasn't bad. I've also seen people put their luggage outside on their balcony, and I don't know if I'd do that. Sometimes overnight there's rain and winds that blow in. Things might get wet. It's up to you. But another thing I do is I ask for the cabin steward to take everything out of the minibar so that I can use it. Bring back a bottle of water. Bring back a drink. If I'm headed to the room to work for a while, I might get 2 drinks. Put one in the fridge and drink the other one while I'm working. Okay, then ask that cabin steward how you can reach them. It's much better to know how you can reach them before you need him than if there were an emergency or something that you really, really needed. Our cabin steward on Celebrity gave us his card. And so on any touch-dial phone, you could press his extension. Other cruise lines will have a magnet you stick on the door. And on one side, it says, make up our room. We're out having a great time. And the other side, it says, please do not disturb. Anyway, find out how you go about reaching them if you need them. Okay. The next thing I do is I set up my phone, my power sources. Okay, so it's like my laptop, my phone, my power bank, and depending on what else I have with me, sometimes two power banks. You need to be prepared, especially if you're traveling with somebody else. You used to take the power strips, and you can still take them, but some of them are getting taken away. They definitely cannot have a surge protector, and some of them are even getting taken away without them. I carry, I meant to unplug this before I started. I carry this, and it has 5 USB ports, and it only takes one of my plugs. Now, because on cruise ships there are European plug outlets too, now's a great time to take that converter. You just plug it in to the UK converter slot or power slot, and it converts to give you one more plug. And look around the lights next to your bed. Excuse me, because more and more cruise lines are putting USBs right there for your convenience. All right. Take a photo of your room. Take a video of your room. Number one, it won't ever be that clean again. And number two, if there's damage, to the room, if there's a mark on the wall, if there's a tear on the couch or anything, it just gives you protection for should they want to charge you, you have a leg to stand on. Okay. And then bathrobes or slippers. You get them if you're in a balcony room. You get them if you're in a suite. But did you know that you too could have slippers and a bathrobe simply by asking? Ask that cabin steward, say, you know what? It would just be awesome if we had a couple robes in our room. And they'll get it for you. Make sure that you get the cards that hang on your door. It says, bring me coffee, bring me cream, bring me sugar or stevia or trivia or whatever you want. Bring me bagels. I like a little honey, and bring me cream cheese and a fruit tray. That's great. Hardly any cruise lines have a fee for breakfast delivery. But when that guy comes at 7:30 and you're still asleep and you're rolling out of bed just to open the door so he'll lay the coffee down, doesn't hurt to give him a couple dollars tip, especially if you're going to order breakfast each morning like we do. Okay. Download in advance the cruise app. Not only does it have your daily activities right in the palm of your hand, it's an easy communication tool for others that are on the ship that you know or that you might meet. It gives you your folio or your account information right at the palm of your hand. Particularly important if you lose your cruise card and somebody else has used it. If that happens, by the way, just go to the purser's desk, the customer service desk, and let them know. And 99% of the time, they're very easy to work with. Okay. The next thing you have to do, I couldn't read my writing. The next thing you have to do is find your muster station. Now, most of the cruise lines during the pandemic went away from packing you out on the decks where you would meet your lifeboat, and they made it a digital experience where you have to watch a safety briefing, preferably before you get to the ship, but you have to watch a safety briefing, and then you have to go to your muster station. Like we were on deck 6, our muster station was on deck 8, and it was 8 forward on the port side. So we went up 2 decks, and outside they signed us off and we were done. But that needs to be done on day 1. If you don't do it, then they start calling names out because everybody has to have completed the muster station check-in before the ship can leave port. You don't want to be the person with your name called. Okay. and lights and thermostat. I think I told you that one. Okay. The next thing that I do is go get a green apple. I don't have a queasy stomach ordinarily, but you just never know. And so a green apple, 2 bites of a green apple has some kind of chemical in it that will really settle your stomach down. That's what I do. I go up to the buffet, grab a couple, stick them in my refrigerator. Good to go. Then remove any loose hangers. Last trip to Alaska, I went with myself. And in my cabin, I was so tired the first night. I got to the cabin and I kept hearing this clanging and clanging and clanging. And I finally got up, and it was 2 metal coat hangers that every now and then would hit. Just take care of that before you ever go to bed, and won't be an issue at all. For me, I ended up using all the hangers that were provided, so it didn't happen anymore. All right. Cool. That's the end of the list. Now you are 98% smarter than most of the cruisers who go to get on a cruise ship and are not quite sure what to do on day 1. Knowledge is power. So, speaking of knowledge, I am tomorrow going to start an easy AI training. If you want information, please reach out to me. Oops, let's see. I wonder if I have. I do not have it. Let me put my email. It's my initials, MCF, the number 4, action at gmail.com. And if you will email me, I would be happy to. Oops, I misspelled action. Oh my goodness. If you email me, I will be happy to add you to the training tomorrow night at 7 p.m. It is all about free AI tools. Here's what I did. I took the 10X growth, business growth course through Grant Cardone. And the biggest growth for any kind of business, even if you're just trying to do a side hustle, is being seen in the right places, in the market that you need to be, and as frequently as you need to be. So AI now has all of this integrated, and I'm going to just share some things that I learned. I was so impressed, and a bazillion thoughts go through your mind of how you can use this. But one example is creating things just like this. I just enjoy doing that. I minored in graphic arts in college. And so these are created in Canva. And it'll probably be one of the first things that I share, how easy it is, how much training there is online. But there were just a host of free AI tools. And my brother was in town this weekend, and we were playing golf, and he said, so what's this thing you're doing about AI? And I said, well, there is so much out there, and it is free knowledge. It is free to learn. And he said, yeah, well, I'm not gonna watch a YouTube. And I said, well, I will show you. Just show up, 7 p.m. Email me. Oh, goodness. I just realized I didn't even spell Gmail correct. Sorry, that's what happens. Anyway, email me and I will put you on the list for tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for checking me out. And I wore a shirt today that says, "You matter." Let's see. It's pretty cool. It says you matter because you do. And on the back of the shirt, it says, the person behind me in line, just know that you're important. You are important. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again next week. If you're a new cruiser, go on and book it. But if you want somebody to handle it and watch it for you, we can take it over for you anytime up to 30 days after you've made the reservation. Because in today's climate, sometimes you do need somebody to hold your hand. And if not hold your hand, it's just really cool to have this cell phone number with you on vacation. All right, guys, have a great week and email me so I can send you an invite for tomorrow. Ciao.